Hi, this is RX-93ff, a show where I take a look at some Gunpla and see how authentic they are. This time, we are looking at the EG-12144 New Gundam from Gundam base Side F. RX-93ff is a variant of New Gundam that, if the London Bell couldn't develop the fin funnel in time, as a backup plan, they use a more reliable form of cycle mill that would have been larger. So instead of building just larger small fin funnels, they decided to build one giant big fin funnel called the long fin funnel that is essentially a beam launcher that can function as a fin funnel. Now, this background came in as Bandai tried to erect a 1:1 scale New Gundam statue in Fukuoka, which does have typhoon seasons, and the original fin funnels would catch quite a lot of wind. Now, standing 23 meters tall, New Gundam would be quite a large statue, and it would be lovely if it have a third point of contact to the ground. So instead of building a kind of, bus killing stand to attach to New Gundam's back, they designed the long fin funnel, so there wouldn't be a stand sticking out poking, in New Gundam's back or bottom, but instead a cool new weapon. I'll be rating these kits based on saga, style, action, gimmick, and absence. Style is how much does the Gunpla looks like its counterparts in anime, manga, games, or other media. For the New Gundam, it is pretty much just the New Gundam EG, as you can see from the sprue, except for the long fin funnel. Now, I haven't get to that kit yet, but it is essentially based on the movie version of New Gundam instead of the newer designs like the statue in Fukuoka, or the Master Grades and Verka rendition. So while this New Gundam have a few color changes to match the one in Fukuoka, its design overall is based on the original anime version, and some older artworks would use dark blue instead of black for printing materials. So yeah, this kit, while not looking 1:1 or super close to the Fukuoka statue, it is undeniably a classic New Gundam look. Getting a closer look, New Gundam, unlike the original Gundam EG, if you can see, the top camera have the same color separation as the eye. It is a single piece going inside the head, and the head is one big helmet. Just have a bit of molding on the side here. And then you have the faceplate and the chin transceiver attached. We also get a 3-pin antenna and the middle transceiver there. So pretty good part separation. The only thing that is missing is color separation for the back camera or stickers. But if you have fin funnel and everything around it, you don't really see it anyway. So for an EG, pretty acceptable. Same goes for the camera on the chest. On the HG, you will get a sticker for this camera, but not on the EG. Still, everything else got their own color separation, so it is lovely. Down to the skirts, the skirt vents are just a slot with no color separation, but it looks convincing enough. And then we got color separation for the Federation V over there, and the side skirt vents got color separation. They are basically the white piece over the yellow, but you don't really see that anyway, so that's pretty good. And like Gundam, you will see the internal color down the side here. And for New Gundam, especially the Fukuoka version, one, as the statue, but two, even in the alternative New Gundam design law, this is a early test type, or rather, this is a version of New Gundam that would have worked even without cycle frame, so ought to have some oddity there. So that's fine. Down to the legs, thigh is front back sandwich, which have a lovely embossed line on the side, so very good construction. And we just got the EG front and, well, EG C-clamp, and then cover from behind the knee, which include the pulse transmission conduits, and quite a bit of sculpt in there as well. We also got a bit of hydraulic behind the knee, so very good. Lower leg construction is a masterclass. We have the knee coming into the shin, pretty much one piece with the knee pads, but also along with the back, the end of the ankle or the end of the trouser. So this is one piece going up like that, all in white, with a yellow internal to attach to the gray knee. So we got very good color separation there. And then the knee part actually extended all the way to the back of the calf for the thrusters, which got a white armor cover as you would. And then the whole leg is completed with the blue calf covers. No more piece than the original HG. You get very good color separation. We don't always get this. Well, we usually don't get the whole lower trouser plus the knee armor for newer Gunpla, but it is definitely something that Bandai can do if they are sure, well, basically for the hero Gundams, or, the rifle main antagonists, or, actual rifle units that they are sure to sell well, they can do this. And yeah, no tricks, just clean builds on its own. And then down to the foot, we got top of the foot and then the bottom, the shoe. And instead of a sticker, we actually got a separate part for the yellow toe of New Gundam. Looking at the bottom of the foot, we got quite a few hollows, but this is a EG, so in order to reduce the overall part, this is acceptable. If you really want to look at the bottom of New Gundam's feet, you can fill them up as you see fit. But yeah, we still got quite a lot of sculpts around, and since the toe is supposed to be anchor cross for New Gundam to stable itself on asteroids and other things, it being a different color is not that problematic. Back skirts, basically one giant piece. The thrusters are not in separate colors, but you don't see them often, and it's not too hard to paint them in black. I just let the panel liner to shadow them up. I might go ahead to paint them later, but this works. We do have color separation for the back block though, that is nice. Then we get to New Gundam's backpack. It is very well part separated and very complete, with some detailed sculpts and color separation. while the beam saber holster can't rotate as it would in the show. The beam saber is a separate part, and the handguard does fall out. So this is a piece from the original EG New Gundam, and it is carried over here. The fin funnel turret is different. This is a new design for the long fin funnel. You still get the original turret for the HG fin funnels. Thruster still in the same dark blue as the rest of the kit, but you don't really see the difference. And yeah, with the blue you can easily see the clamp for the new Hyper Bazooka. Arms, the shoulder are simple clamshells with one thinner plate and one wider plate. It is easy, for Bandai to double that up on the sprue, so I won't complain for EG. And we get color separation for the side thrusters, something that even modern HG might not able to afford, so very lovely here. I want to mention the inner shoulder actually have sculpts, so even if you don't put on the shoulder armor, it is a complete model with details. There are quite a few of those, like you can pull off this back armor, although there is a giant peg in here that you might have to do something. But otherwise, because of this detail given spread around, you can make a semi cutaway in Repair New Gundam with this EG kit, which was only previously possible with MG without extensive modifications. Elbow joint with the round and sculpts inside, even to the front. Well, this is sort of assembly, but yeah, the assembly have detailed in mind. This side thruster or power slot, not really clear what it is just part of the forearm armor. And because we got the elbow internal in there as a backing, so it is just a complete look. And all the white on the forearm is one tube cast, so no assembly gap there except for the with blue cover. And then the beam saber is actually part of the white of the forearm, so we can't take it out, but it is very convincing with different base armor. On the right hand side, you just have a simple forearm guard in place, which is what New Gundam have. If we're going to just judge the New Gundam itself, it's an A, because despite being accurate to a New Gundam, it's not accurate to the Fukuoka statue. However, we do have the long fin funnel to consider. And yes, this is AEG. You can see mostly the bottom of the long fin funnel. Color is pretty simple, but it has a lot of scopes that even the newest HG might not have. And on the side, with all the color separation, part separation, and detail sculpted, let us have a closer look at them. I have to say the style is impeccable. In fact, I am most impressed by the thrusters, basically the main thruster. You can see, the end cone and then the scope details along with the fin that does look like they have rotors, and then you got a articulated extra bit of booster, or this could be a heatsink, but heatsink in Gundam also act as auxiliary thrusters, recycle the heat. So yeah, this is very, very good. Not just EG, you don't really see great parts and color separation like this in HG. Like this is almost like algae. So yeah, because of how good the long fin funnel is, I will give this kit S for style. Next is action. Action isn't just the number of articulations, but also how useful those articulations are. For New Gundam, head is a double ball joint, basically a mimic of the Forever HG double ball joint. Because of the way the EG is constructed, you get a lot of angle out of this. Then down to the torso, we got ab crunch, and then we got a ball joint on the waist. So not a lot of movement, but quite expressive. And just like Gundam, you can like push it down to make it lock tighter, but we are not doing that here. Side skirt is on a ball joint, just like EG Gundam. Front skirt is on rotation with a bit of give to the side, again like EG Gundam. Same goes to the thigh, ball joint on the hip, and then 5 rotation. And then we got a double joint knee that is only limited by the back armor and the skirt armor. Otherwise, you can see how tight everything comes in. And then the ankle, we got a swivel on the ankle and then a ball joint to the toe. Also rotation on the ankle as it is a pig. So not quite as intuitive as double ball joint that you usually see, but it does afford a lot of flexibility overall. The arms, the hard plastic on hard plastic means it could wedge off itself pretty easily, but otherwise the full 90-degree swivel plus the ball joint is a lot. And then we do have bicep rotation, and the arms goes 90 is there, a bit more than 10, yeah, say 110 degree. And then hand on a ball joint that, like the other EGs, you can push in for tighter or pull out for more range of movement. Same goes for the other arm. I don't think this test would be fair without attaching the long fin funnel. So here we go. Testing Kung Fu Fighting for New Gundam Fukuoka with is quite compromising, if I dare to say, ankle arrangement. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Long fin funnel really does its job well. It's really stabilized Gundam, and yeah, it is not attaching to the table in any way. So yeah, action wise, same range as EG as usual, and just good in general. Yeah, standing is super easy with the long fin funnel at the back. Action wise, standard EG affair, so it is good. Still using the ball joints for the hip, which is kind of a shame, and the foot having the toe instead of like a double joint. It works, but not quite intuitive, and the ball on the left foot is a bit stuck for me, so watch out for breaking them at times. But overall, I am pretty okay with EG, so just be careful. New Gundam here perform excellent despite the giant long fin funnel. It is still an A, doesn't have the double elbow or other butterfly joint for the chest to get to at S level. Still very good action. Next is Gimmick. Gimmick are the onboard weapon, optional weapons, and other functionality of the mobile suit. For New Gundam FF, We had looked at the two beam sabers already. We can spot the Falcon gun on top of the head, while the normal e.g. New Gundam will have a beam rifle and a shield. For the New Gundam FF, in order to maintain the price level for this lovely long fin funnel, we don't get those. But we, got the long fin funnel. And the long fin funnel doesn't just have, this flight or packing mode. It does have firing mode, but you do need to do some part replacement. Here you go, long fin funnel in firing mode. You can even see the reinforced rib inside of the red, I guess, acceleration rails. They are just reinforced ribs, but they also look like details inside the fin funnel. Same as the fullers on top and at the bottom, kind of, yeah, at the bottom of the fins. So I guess you can, adjust. There you go, that's better with the top and bottom in line. Not sure why you can adjust the angle of the back there, but okay. We do have a firing mode attachment for the long fin funnel, hence why we got two pegs on the turret. So yeah, just using the long fin funnel as a giant backpack cannon is an option. Another option is to use the long fin funnel as a underslung beam launcher. That is a lot of sag. Let's push the shoulder up. There we go. This is certainly very scary. And yeah, if you have a stand, you can have the long fin funnel flying around. The attachment point for the standing mode is kind of an eyesore, but it's fine, to be honest. So yeah, very, very mean weapon with a lot of variations. As for the other bits, we got alternative hands, open palm for the other hand. The open palm are new, along with the long fin funnel, the alternative turrets that we had looked at, and then the other fists that we didn't use here. So yeah, gimmick wise, the New Gundam FF, even though it does miss quite a few of its original gimmick, the long fin funnel being lovely as it is, and having all the different modes that you can use in this kit, is more than enough to make up for it. In fact, I would say insofar that it is slightly better than the original New Gundam. I guess because the statue doesn't have beam rifle and shield, so for the purpose of scoring, New Gundam FF here is more accurate, and the statue doesn't have the different firing mode. This kit feels more authentic than the original EG release. So I am going to give S for the New Gundam FF EG. Last and certainly least is absence. Like we have been talking about, it doesn't have the original New Gundam's shield and beam rifle, but those are okay. And like the original EG New Gundam, we don't get beam saber effects for either beam saber. In fact, yeah, that beam saber can't even be taken out, so those are definitely absence. And before I forgot, once again, we do have plastic decal stickers. This would complete the color of the long fin funnel and the markings on the statue with rainbow color Amuro unicorn. Having said that, because I am going to do a bit more with this EG, so I feel it is okay for it to have a more Spartan looking long beam rifle. So for absence, it is not perfect, but again, since the statue does not have the beam saber effects and other stuff, I am going to give this one an S over to the eventual saga of original EG New Gundam. So the verdict for the EG New Gundam FF is A for style, A for action, S for gimmick, and S for absence. Overall, this is a must-have if you are visiting Gundam Base Fukuoka, or Gundam Base SciF as they call it. This is a must-have if you go into a Gundam event that sells these kits. I basically get at least one every time I see them, so I got at least a couple more at the back. Either way, it is a simple kit, it is a lovely kit. New Gundam's larger size definitely help the EG to reach its fuller potential, but it is also definitely years of refining the New Gundam's mold to make this EG as lovely as it is at this point. If you like New Gundam, get the original EG. If you're not sure about EG, get the New Gundam EG. It is probably the best EG out there. If you are not sure about Gunpla altogether, also get the New Gundam EG. To be honest, it's a better first time experience than the RX-78-2, which is lovely, but this is slightly larger due to the size in law, so things are slightly easier. Thanks for watching. See you next time.